Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. I am back with another Crumb quilt block. I've just been playing around and want to show you what I did. I may have done this before, I do not know. This is a good way to use some of your scrappy strips or just, bigger pieces, and you can make these any size that you want. But what I'm going to do is I'm taking a strip and I'm going to cut it about 5 inches. There's my ruler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't have to be exact. And now I'm going to make it narrower on one end. Now with a small piece like this, it's kind of hard to just do that with scissors, so I'm actually using my rotary cutter. And it doesn't really matter, you just want it to be tapered. And I think at least 1 inch on this end or bigger would be good. And probably not much smaller than 1/2 inch, but you could go a little smaller. Let's go a little smaller. So you end up with a piece that looks like this. It's just, a tapered little wonky strip. Go ahead and make at least 8 of these. And let's go to the machine. Before I forget, if you don't know anything about crumb quilting or you need a refresher course, I have an entire series. Playlist link is down below. I've started to add to that series with the new videos, so plenty of info for you out there. And also, please, pretty please, subscribe to this channel because I asked you nicely. That's the only reason you need, right? Okay, we're going to sew these together with the obviously right sides together and with the narrow ends together. So we're going to be making like a little fan. Don't worry if they're not all the same length. Just put them together and they can be as wonky as you want. But because we already trimmed them, they're already somewhat wonky, so that helps. And it doesn't matter if your points are completely like just a point that will get cut off. That's okay. So I send 2 through, 2 more through. I always make sure I have an even number so I can, just do it chain piecing like this. You could do 10 of these, 12 of these, whatever. Just experiment with it. And you can vary the size. Like the base, look, this base is wider. I like that. It's wider than the green. All of a sudden, I thought I wasn't even recording. Oh, I hate that feeling. Okay, now we're just going to finger press these suckers. And we're going to start sending 2 and 2 together. I don't care what goes next to what. I did pick 8 different prints. If it's easier for you to start on the wide end, you can. I don't know why I like to start with the narrow, but I make the narrow ends be the ones that are even. See, I like the narrow ends to be very close together like that. And now we're just going to sew these 2 pieces together for our little piece of 8. At this point, I will go press. And we have something that looks like this. And this can be trimmed to any size you want. And I thought it would be cool to put the same color border all the way around. And I'm choosing black. Now you want it to be kind of wide. This is, I think, 2 inches. I went ahead and cut this because I want it. That's not something scrappy. Just because crumb quilting is just do whatever you want doesn't mean you can't have a plan. So let me trim this. I'm going to just, even off this end and this end also. And again, it can be wonky, like I could cut this way or I could cut this way. So I just decided to go like this. And look at this loveliness that's good for another quilt block. And now I'm going to just add this black border. When you have angles, always put your fabric together like this to make sure that you're going to have, enough room to follow that line. So I'm going to go like that. it doesn't matter which way you go. I'm just going to go around. Now see, this is my line here, and I'm just going to follow that line like that. Okay, now I'm going to do this way. And again, I want to make sure. All right, that looks good. I'm going to put the black strip on the bottom. This is so fun. I'm going to follow this line. I don't have to worry about trimming that yet. Do I have enough of this one? But see what I mean? If I were to sew this here, I wouldn't have enough black here. It needs to be sticking out beyond this so I can trim in that direction. So I have another strip. And I want to make sure. Let me do it this way. All right, that's the better way to do it. I always leave extra when I'm working with angles because it's so easy to forget. See, I needed extra there, so I have room to cut. So again, I'm going to just follow the angle of what I have down here. Follow that line. Ooh, am I going to have... Not really. Maybe I'll have to piece this, or do I want to cut another piece? I'm going to go with it because I will be trimming this, so it's okay. Let me press. At this point, you have a lot of options. You could square this up and make a whole bunch of little blocks like that and then just sew them together. You could make some with black border and maybe some with white border or purple border, whatever you like, and then you could put them together in a quilt. Black, purple, black, purple. You know what I mean? Jelly bean. Or you can do what I did in my first attempt, and I learned something. Hang on. Junk call. This is what I did in a practice piece, and I learned that you really do need probably an inch of the black. See my little fan right there? I wanted to have a black border around it and then tuck it into, you know, other crumbs, build around it. And I just thought that would be super cute. I do think it's super cute, but it doesn't pop enough. So the black border, I don't know, that was probably about a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch. You need a lot because when you're sewing with all these seams, you know what I mean? You want to make sure you're catching everything. So I would say if you were going to trim around it and keep the shape, I would say trim at least an inch. But since I did this, and you kind of get the idea of how it would look in a crumb piece. Now you don't even have to put a border around there. You can just, you know, do like I'm going to do with this and just tuck it in there any way you want. But what I thought now, I'd like to see what it looks like as a square. So let me figure out what size square I can get out of this. I am not going to be able to get a square unless I added some more black around this, and I don't want to set up and cut that again. So I'm going to be making a rectangle. We'll see how that goes. So I'm just going to, let's see, I'm just going to trim this side. And I'm going to just trim here. Okay, so that's not even a rectangle, but here's the deal. I am going to go put some fabric there. I have enough. I need an extra piece for this corner, so I'm just going to sew this here, and then when I flip, I'll be able to trim. Not a square, but you get the idea. I think it's cool. I think I prefer that there, you know, there wouldn't be this much black. But again, that would make a really super cool quilt if you did a whole bunch of these and just put them together, especially if you change the color of the border and alternate. Then each block would really pop. I would like it with less black. And where is that? You know, I think I really like it, and my intention was, you know, to have some black around it, but then to add it into a crumb piece. So this was my goal, but since I did this already, I thought, you know, we'd look at it like this. How can that be so crooked? Let me trim that better. And I still could cut this down if I wanted to follow these lines, but again, I would leave about an inch all the way around and then bury it into another piece. I hope this wasn't too confusing. I can make things way more difficult than they really are. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Bye!